Alright, today's journey started months and months ago when EP finally got AMP after so long of being cock-blocked by DC, only to find out the AMP buff was broken. Then after this I heard many different reasonings, from it's bugged to ZOS removed it from the game to there being changes in patch notes a long time ago. So in this video, we're going to investigate what really happened and if ZOS did remove content from PvP or is it just bugged. First, I started digging through old patch notes looking for anything that may lead to an answer. At first, this did not lead anywhere, so I went to the forums and found a post from the end of 2022 complaining about AMP buff not working. From what I can tell, this was more of the player buff than the faction buff, so not what we're interested in today. So be clear, we are talking about the faction buff, not the actual AMP buff itself. So something must have been happening around this time to cause problems. I kept digging and found this post from June 23 complaining about faction buff not working. And scrolling through this post, I found a link to patch notes way back in October 2022, where there is changes to the AMP buff. So let's discuss what the change was and go from there. AMP scaling in Cyrodiil. The health bonuses for having Emperor Crown for your alliance will now scale depending on how many home or natively owned keeps you have controlled by your alliance. For an example, if you own all 6 of your home keeps, you'll get the full bonus as Emperor. For each of those you don't own, the health bonus is reduced. The Emperor passives also now scale in a similar way to the alliance-wide health bonus. For each of the 6 home keeps your alliance owns, the bonus will be up to its full value. For each one that is not owned by your alliance, the passive benefits are reduced. Alright, so that's how the AMP buff should be working. As stated in the patch notes, this going forward should be how it works, but I've never really seen it function in this way. Now, I want to point out that Gina and mods were tagged in this and they ghosted the community. There was no response, there was no nothing, which really sucks because this could have been cleared up months ago and we wouldn't be sitting in this situation. Now, something else I thought of last night when I was laying in bed trying to sleep was maybe the patch notes are wrong and whoever typed them out got some words wrong and this is actually working in reverse. So if you have your home keeps, you're not getting the health bonus as a faction. Pure speculation, and this is 100% not how the patch notes read. So if we do take them word for word, what I'm thinking has to be wrong, but there is a chance the patch notes were just stuffed up and it is semi-working as intended, but working backwards. I don't think that is the most likely answer. I think with ZOS's past track record, the most likely answer is it is just straight bugged and has been bugged for a long time. And why ZOS has ghosted the community on this, I think, is one of two things. One, honestly, it's not worth their time and they don't really care, which, let's be real, is a high possibility. Or two, they know that AMP buff was changed and they just kind of think their community's dumb, so when someone reports the AMP buff not working, ZOS is just like, oh, we changed it, and they just don't realize. And if that is the sense, you should still respond and clarify. If you see a lot of people asking questions without an answer, you should reply, whether you think it's a legitimate, proper question or not. This is just bad community management at its finest, really. It just is. There's no way of sugarcoating it. It's just not great. Now, there have been some reports of peeps getting a health buff, so whether there is a way to unbug it and get the buff, I just don't know. But I know people have got it and they didn't do anything special to get it as far as I have been told. I think, once again, this is just ZOS bad at communication skills. I don't know. They used to be semi-okay in some regards. It just feels like lately, especially when it comes to PvP, they don't want to have communication at all. And That's just bad. I don't know. You just leave the community guessing, and that's not a good thing, because the community will come up with their own things and they might not be correct either, and it just leaves us looking worse than what they would have been if they just owned up or admitted or just answered the person, like gone, oh, we changed it back in these things. And if that person goes, oh yeah, I know that, but it's still not working, then you should do something about it at the very least. If the timelines are correct on this whole thing, it's been 14 months that this has been bugged. 14 months. Like, that's just insane to me. Anyway, boys and girls, if you have any information in regards to this, because I know the answer's still not super clear what's going on with this, but it's very hard to test. I did double check yesterday. I went into a server that had Emperor. I did double check that I wasn't getting the Emp buff, and I wasn't. This was with all our home keeps. We had the circle and all our home keeps. And I actually physically checked my health too, just to make sure that the buff in the buff sheet isn't just bugged and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know. Let me know in the comment section what your experience with this has been. And at the end of the day, I just think it's bugged and Zos needs to fix it. I'll happily be wrong. So there's that. All right. I love you guys. Peace.